Hello, everyone. Dr. Lisa Faast here from Diversify RX. And you all know that I love talking about alternative ways to purchase your prescription products and lower your cost of goods sold. So it is my pleasure to have Ezriel on today and introduce you to EzriRx. It might have been a company you might have ran across before. They've been around for a while. However, I just got newly kind of reintroduced to them myself, and I am just floored by how easy they make it for independent pharmacy owners to lower their cost of goods. So that is why I'm excited to bring Ezriel on today. So Ezriel, thank you for joining me. Can you give a quick little introduction about yourself and EzriRx as a whole, how long you've been hanging around the pharmacy world, and a little bit of what you do?
Sure thing, Lisa. Thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure being at your show. It was well worth it, and we got to meet a lot of your pharmacies, and it was really a good experience for everyone. EzriRx is essentially a marketplace of pharmacies. That's in the most simple form possible. We essentially connect 30 NABP verified wholesalers or NABP accredited wholesalers, and we display their products to the thousands of pharmacies that we have, and we give pharmacies a simple way to shop all these wholesalers in one central location. But it's not only a marketplace. Essentially, we're a technology-driven platform that does so much more and lets pharmacies really have a one simple solution to open new accounts with wholesalers, haggle with wholesalers, pay their invoices, keep track of the balances, and really do many, many nuanced operations that they would typically do on the phone. They can now do on one simple to use website that is 100% free for pharmacies.
I think that's a really good summary. It's kind of hard to describe it a little bit as well. And when I've gotten some demos of your software, I've been impressed every single time. And the way that I describe it is it's a smart pharmacy marketplace. But let's go back a little bit more to the basics for those that might be listening that don't really know what a pharmacy marketplace is. I usually, when I try to describe a pharmacy marketplace, I kind of mention Amazon, where you have a bunch of different sellers. You go to one place and you make your purchases, and it doesn't really matter who the seller is, but you get your products. And that's kind of what a pharmacy marketplace is. How would you describe a pharmacy marketplace to somebody who maybe is not familiar with that whole concept?
Sure. So if anyone is a pharmacist, I'm sure you're bombarded every single day with phone calls from sales reps. Your fax machine gets blown up. You go to trade shows, and it's a very cumbersome process for you to buy drugs from different wholesalers. What a marketplace does is essentially it consolidates all these wholesalers into one central location, and a pharmacy has the ability to search for any NDC, any drug name, and find the cheapest price from all these different wholesalers. So rather than you having to sit with 14 screens open or like 14 tabs open, knowing 6 different reps, or basically having 16 reps call you every single day, a marketplace gives you a very simple solution to search for drugs, find the best price, and actually buy it through one central location.
Yeah. And the problem with kind of what I would say the standard pharmacy marketplace is you still have a ton of paperwork. You're managing all of those invoices, because technically the invoices come from the wholesalers, because you want to buy from accredited wholesalers, which is important. And so the invoices come from the wholesalers. The wholesalers need to get paid. And most pharmacy marketplaces, they make it easy to purchase, but the tracking and the billing and the invoicing is still kind of this very manual, chaotic process. And the really cool thing, your platform does a lot of cool things, but the really cool thing that I felt that it did was it electronified, if that's a word. I'm making words up, but it made all of this paper manual process. It uses technology, like it made it smart, and it made it to where I can pay bills with just clicks of a button right from your website. I don't have to log into another account. I don't have to go somewhere else. And so to me, the efficiency, and especially being a distance owner, so I am not on site at my pharmacies. It's up to my employees to, make purchases and do different things. And, maybe we have a bookkeeper that does billing and whatnot. So it's really important that I make it easy for them, because otherwise you're just going to get disenfranchised employees, and that's never good. And so kind of talk about how does your technology take that even further? Like, how did it advance the pharmacy marketplace so that pharmacies can easily lower their cost of goods? Because ultimately that's the goal here.
Right. So what our modus operandi is ultimately is that we took the available technologies that exist in the general marketplace setting, so similar to Amazon, eBay, which they in itself innovated from the Craigslist out there, and they made it much better. We took all the code and backend that they have, and we essentially brought it into the pharmacy industry, something which has never been done before. So, for starters, when you're opening up a new account with a wholesaler, we all know that there are electronic applications, and there's no reason for you to fill out any forms, fax them, or have any other paperwork done that way. So we made it really simple for someone to come online, fill out all these applications in one fell swoop, and that goes off to all the wholesalers. Now, the second step is that when you are paying for purchases, I'm sure that we've all heard of PayPal, Venmo, and different solutions out there. We essentially took the same core technology and built it right into one central site. So rather than you having to fill out ACH authorization forms, wholesalers having your credit card information in the file, here you're in control. So you essentially add your bank account and credit card on file, and you get a line of credit from every wholesaler, which that allows you to actually pay for the wholesalers through the actual site itself. So you're paying one place, and everyone gets paid on its own. So rather than you paying 30 different vendors every single month and having that massive stack of paper invoices, here we simplify that process. Now, when it comes to haggling with wholesalers, so we kind of all know that sometimes wholesalers and their reps have the ability to go lower on certain prices. We essentially built the best offer feature, which is similar to which is similar to the eBay best offer feature that essentially allows you to haggle with the wholesaler through the actual site itself. And this is just some of the nuanced functionality that we took from what's out there today and brought it into the pharmacy industry to streamline those processes for them.
Yeah, that electronic haggling feature is really cool. So if you're going to be buying, 200 units of a product, instead of paying their $12 price, you just send them a little message that says, hey, would you accept $10 for this if I buy 200? And there isn't this back and forth of, sales rep be like, oh, let me get approval. Let me call you back. And I think it's just a much more efficient process, and you can be doing it at home at night in your home office, wherever, you're not really restricted to having to talk to a single person. So I really like that feature. And I think the other things, as I said, you actually brought technology and intelligence to the pharmacy marketplace. And so EzriRx integrates with primary wholesalers, which I don't know that there's any other pharmacy marketplace that does that. They also integrate with your pharmacy management system, which is very cool technology. And I know a lot of those integrations sometimes are always in development and growth, but the fact that you're even doing that to try to bring together what I'll say is real transparency in pricing, because like I said, ultimately, this is about lowering your cost of goods. And essentially what you do as a pharmacy marketplace is you bring competition where previous competition maybe didn't exist, because it was a hassle and because it was time consuming. Maybe your pharmacist, your technicians, yourself didn't really shop around for some of those key products like they needed to, because it was just quicker just to buy from your primary, even though perhaps you could save 40, 50, 60, 70% buying somewhere else. And now it's super easy to do that. And that's really how EzriRx helps you lower your cost of goods, which I loved talking about at the summit. Thank you for mentioning that summit. So those of you that were at the recent Pharmacy Profit Summit, we held a kind of rapid fire session, because there are better ways for you to buy your drugs and pay less net amount. And really that's what it's about at the end of the month, is what it was my net dollars and how many net dollars did I save. And I think the EzriRx platform is really useful, especially if you have employees that are ordering, because you have to make it easy for them, or you're just going to get too much friction and you're not going to get full adoption into a new process. So instead of maybe having only 1 or 2 wholesalers that you look at, how many wholesalers do you have on your platform now,
We
Ezreal?
have 28 NWP accredited wholesalers on the site.
28, that's a lot. So in the click of just putting in an NDC once, you automatically get to see the price from, if all 28 carry that product, then you get to see the price from all of those, and you get to make that decision on where to purchase your products. And so I just fell in love with it. I've had a couple of demos, just got a recent updated one now that your RPH to RPH platform is going as well. So that's a little bit, many of us obviously deal with dead inventory or inventory that's kind of like not moving. So tell us a little bit about the RPH to RPH model in your software.
Yeah, so in certain states, you have the ability to resell your overstock product that you have sitting on your shelf, rather than you sending it back to a returns company or sending it back to the wholesaler and getting hit with a major overstock fee. We give you a simple ability to resell those products to another pharmacy that has an awaiting patient that could actually use that product. Now, it's really meant to be a win-win for both sides. For a buyer, rather than going to the standard wholesaler and paying high prices, buying it from another pharmacy generally means that you're going to get a greater discount on the goods. When it comes to a selling pharmacy, rather than you returning it, and it usually ends up in a dump somewhere, here you have the ability to sell it to someone that can actually use that product. So it's a really simplified solution for a pharmacy to really search inventory from different pharmacies in their state. And that's a unique distinction, is that RPH to RPH only allows sales from pharmacies to pharmacies within the same state. And that ultimately lets you do business with someone local, lets you get products faster, and lets you save a lot more money and time. So we launched it about a year ago, and it's so far been saving pharmacies a tremendous amount of money, and something which has been it's been working phenomenally well so far. It's just a addition to the actual EzriRx platform. So not only are you searching from 28 wholesalers and your primary, you're now having the ability to search through other pharmacies' inventory as well. So it's a really streamlined process to go soup to nuts and have everything that you need in one central location.
Yeah, and these wholesalers that you have on your platform are some wholesalers that I talk about all the time, like Real Value Products, for example. Like, these are big name wholesalers. We're not talking about hole in the wall places. And as you said, they're NABP accredited, which we all know is important to follow the rules and only purchase from legit places. And so if you haven't checked out EzriRx, I just highly recommend scheduling yourself for your demo. Get your team on the demo, get their opinion on how easy this is to use, as opposed to, as Ezriel said, having 14 different tabs open or something like that. But this is something that I think is worthwhile. It's going to save you time and it's going to save you money. And really, that's what we're all here about, is we're here about boosting that bottom line. So Ezriel, if they want to schedule a demo, if they want to see the platform and all of the different things that you can do, because honestly, it even does more than what we've talked about. How can they best and easiest schedule a demo with you or your team?
The easiest way to check out EzriRx is by going to EzriRx.com. You can easily schedule a demo once you create a free account. Accounts take literally under 2 minutes for you to sign up, and it's a very, very seamless process. If you want to send us an email, support@EzriRx.com is also a very easy way to get through to our team. We have a full staff available, and we're scheduling demos pretty much all day, every day. The general idea is that it's meant to be really, really simple, stupid. Something which we always strive to have is just keep it simple, stupid. Once you sign in, you'll have the ability to schedule a demo and speak to someone on our team.
Yeah, no, I think that is the beauty of it, is that it is very highly intelligent and very technology driven. And the user interface is very easy to use, which I think is critical, because there's some really great programs out there, but the amount of time and effort it takes to use them, it starts to maybe not be as worth as much. And I think EzriRx is the opposite. Like, it's very easy to use. And so you can reap the benefits very quickly and simply. And I think every pharmacy can benefit because we can all, there's always those few drugs that you're always looking to save money on because you're either losing money on and you're trying to mitigate that. So highly recommend go schedule your demo at EzriRx.com. Thank you, Ezriel, for joining us. Thank you for joining us at the Pharmacy Profit Summit. I look forward to hearing all about the new things that you guys are always innovating. So I can't wait to hear about those new innovations, and really appreciate everything that you do for independent pharmacies out there.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I really appreciate it. It's a pleasure being on the podcast.